Hello everybody, I hope you are having an amazing day. So I just wanted to come on here and chat about something that I keep getting asked about, and that's how I pretty much most days I only work on my business 4 hours a day. This includes time seeing clients, like emails, marketing, all the things. I try and get it done in 4 hours a day. And while this isn't the right thing for everyone, here's how I kind of came to the conclusion that this is the right thing for me. So in human design, I'm a projector. And if you don't know anything about human design, go look it up, it'll change your life. But basically, projectors are really meant to come here and guide other people, which is why being a coach works really well for me. I can kind of have an overview of what's going on for people, and I can really spot patterns really easily. I can see where you're stuck. I can see where your kind of blind spots are. It's just the gift of projectors to really see people deeply. And then that combined with projectors don't actually generate our own energy. So that means we actually need a lot of time to rest and recuperate and to do our self-care and to meditate and most projectors I know, we love learning things. Learning is what lights us up. So we need a lot of time to become experts in our thing and to learn more about it so that we can help guide the people who have recognized us to guide them. And so being a projector, they say the ideal work schedule for projectors is 2 to 3 hours a day of work. But right now I'm at 4, which feels good to me. And so basically the way that I was able to get to this point is first things first is, before I had my coaching business, I was a photographer for 10 years. And so I spent a lot of time learning about how to run a business. So I kind of already had that background, but I really knew that there was going to be a lot of things where I didn't actually have to be the person doing them. I really was conscious of the fact that I wanted to be able to hire someone as soon as possible, just so that I could have somebody doing those tasks where I would end up doing it. And while it wouldn't take me a lot of time, it was still time taken away from where I could be doing something else. So first things first, I really had in mind, okay, what are the things that I find myself doing over and over and over that I don't actually need to be doing, that I could get someone else to do? And then I hired my VA probably a month ago now, maybe 2 months ago. And she helps me with all the things that I don't need to personally be doing it, someone else can do it, and it happens over and over. That's another thing that projectors love: systems. We love creating a really effective way for doing something because we don't have a lot of energy. So instead of reinventing the wheel every single time we want to do something, we do really well if we create structures in our business. And so I have a lot of systems created in my business. From when I sign up a client, I have my client, it's called a CRM, customer relationship management software. And so basically in that I have all the workflows. So when someone signs up with me as a client, I basically just press play on that and it sends them all the emails, it sends them the contracts, it sends them the forms, it sends them reminders. It handles all of that kind of admin-y stuff, so I don't have to be the person rewriting that same email over and over and over, which saves me a lot of time. And so client onboarding doesn't take me a long time, and I'm able to be there and have a high touch experience without me having to sit behind my computer for 20 hours a day emailing people. So the first thing would be really figure out what are the things that you don't actually have to be doing in your business. What are the things that you repeat over and over again that somebody else could be doing? You can train someone else. You can find really low priced VAs. You can even at the beginning of your business, I'm sure you can afford $15 an hour to find someone online. There's so many places you can look. You can look on Fiverr, you could look on Upwork. I'm sure there's Facebook groups where you could find someone who wants to do it. And then the other thing would be creating structures and systems in your business. What are the things that you do over and over and over again? How can you systemize it? Whether that's through client management software or having a repeatable writing down all the tasks it takes to get a job done and then just following that same thing every single time, so you're not reinventing the wheel and you have a process for doing that thing over and over. And then the other thing that allows me to do this is also being strict with myself, creating boundaries. Like when I hit the 4-hour mark, I'm pretty much like, I'm done. I'm not going to do any more work. I think we really lead ourselves to burnout when we try and do too many things in a day, because those things at the end of the day, when you don't have the energy, they're not getting done well. So every day I pretty much prioritize like 3 things that I must do today, the 3 major things that need to get done. And then everything after that is a bonus. And if I don't do it, it ends up going on to tomorrow. And if there's something that consistently keeps not getting done, I start looking at like, how can this be someone else's job? How can I like hand this off to my VA? How can I find a different way of doing this so that it's not constantly getting left behind? And so being really strict with myself, and because I know I've been at that place before where I've been super burned out and it wasn't fun, and I know that nothing good happens in that place. It doesn't actually move you forward. If anything, it moves you backwards because you're not doing your job as well. So thinking the whole working harder is going to get you there thing is not sustainable, because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon when you're running your business. So you need to really prioritize like managing your energy. And the other thing is also figuring out how many clients do you want to take on, like running the numbers and being like, how much money do I want to make? And then how much do I need to charge those clients? If for me, I only want to see 1 client a day, because anything past that, like I'm not showing up in the best way for that client. I'm just not. And that's not because I'm lazy. It's not because there's something wrong with me. I just know this about myself. I'm good with seeing 1 client a day, giving them like all of my energy and focus and intention, like bringing the best of myself so I can help them. And that means that I only see 1 client a day, and that's just how it is. And I'm not going to judge myself for it. Like, it is what it is. So knowing that and being really strict about that, and then also figuring out like, okay, if I'm only going to see 1 client a day, what is my pricing going to be like so that I can make the money that I want to make? And so that way I'm able to serve my client in the best way. I'm able to be like taken care of, I'm able to pay for my bills, I'm able to have a place to live, like all of those things, and figuring out my price point from that. And then getting really clear on like, okay, do I have any blocks around charging that much? Like, what are my money beliefs? What are my stories around like worthiness or like charging that rate? Because it's like, there's people at every single price point, and so it doesn't matter if you're charging like really little or a lot, there's always going to be somebody there. So I think when we come up with those numbers, sometimes we start judging ourselves. We're like, oh, who are you to charge that much? Like, and the thing is like, that's when we need to work on our self-worth and our money beliefs and all that kind of stuff, because that's really going to play into like when you figure out how many people you want to see and like what you're going to charge them. So yeah, those are probably my biggest tips around how I make sure that I only work 4 hours a day, like figuring out how much do I want to make, how much does it cost to run my business, and then from that, how much do I have to charge my clients, how many clients do I need so I can make that amount. Being really strict with myself around the boundaries I do have for working, and knowing that me resting is the work for me. This isn't true for every sign in human design, but even if you are like a manifesting generator or generator or one of those like energy types that can go and go and go, like, yeah, maybe the 4-hour thing won't be right for you, but you still need to acknowledge that you have to have boundaries around how much you will work and how much time you are spending taking care of yourself. Because when you are a coach or a healer and you're giving all this energy to other people, you have to take care of yourself. So bearing that in mind and sticking with those boundaries is super important. Hiring early and making sure that you're not wasting time, but not that you're spending time on tasks that somebody else could be doing that are taking you out of your zone of genius. Because like when you're running the business, you don't want to be doing all the jobs, because then you're not working in your zone of genius, and like you're not doing the things that are actually like making you money and moving the needle forward. Like I could give you like 50 billion things to do every single day in your business that wouldn't actually make you money. You don't want to be doing that. So hiring early, getting a VA, and also like systemizing all the processes that you have in your business, like making those things repeatable, knowing exactly what the steps are you have to go through. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions below.